Yeah. All right, there we go. We had a few little technical issues there. That was kind of bizarre. Let's see if we can get the fan out of the frame. Okay. So do we need more wargame companies? Kind of potential. Not sure what happened there. I just looks like I just lost the connection, so I have no freaking idea. Look at that, what you heard. I've got all sorts of things popping up on my screen saying, danger, Will Robinson, warning. So I have no... Okay, I'm going to keep trying to do this. And if the video interrupts again, then I'll just record what I have to say and I'll post it up. But I was hoping to get kind of a dialogue going here in terms of, do we need more wargame companies or not? And I have two examples I'd like to refer to and share with you a little bit about them. In particular because I had a long conversation with two founder owners of game companies in this past week. And two very different individuals and two very different approaches to the business and two very different scales of gaming that they want to sell and promote, and obviously very different circumstances in terms of how they're getting started. Okay, if someone could do me a favor and post a message below and let me know that I am coming through, whether it's 5x5 or 1x5. I'm not seeing any messages at the moment, and I think my phone has decided that doing live broadcast is sucky. Test. Thank you, Gamer Hudson. Very helpful. Okay, Bobby, good to see you. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if you're noticing... hey, Gabrielle, and I don't know if you're noticing a breakup in... Bobby's the funny guy. If you're noticing a breakup in the communication or not, but it keeps pausing the broadcast, and I don't know what that does to you on your end. So anyway, so I think what I was trying to say was I spoke to two different dudes, and those two dudes have two different approaches to gaming. And you know, in the past I've made comments about, do we need more game companies from the perspective of every man. Okay, all right, that's cool. Thanks, Bobby, for the comment. I've had, fairly, I would say, fairly strident opinions on the number of small companies that are popping up. Some of them I'm really excited about because I've had an opportunity to play some of the games and they're producing a higher quality game, and I think it brings more competition to the table. But it is dilutive of the entire market, particularly for, and I'm talking specifically about war games. I don't care a rat's ass about Euros or block game Euros or meeples or sheeples or trains or any of that. I'm really just talking about the war game market. And we all know it's a small place, and we all know that we have too many East Front, or not too many East Front games, but we have a lot of East Front games and one more. Do we need it? I don't know. But there are lots of companies that are producing product, and some of them are really, really good and we should encourage them, and they're trying to do new and innovative things. There are others that I think are not so good and should just pack their stuff up and go home and have a hard think about what they're doing or get some help. That said, I think also some of the larger companies are also doing us a little bit of a disservice in their approach to engaging with us. There are some of the larger firms that are a little insular. In some cases, I'm waiting for the guys to kind of retire, right? So that the marketplace can evolve beyond them because they soak up so many dollars. And I'm not referring to, hey Chuck, I'm not referring to any company in particular at the moment, but there are one or two companies that do spend their entire life on CSW and believe that every opinion on there, from their little coterie of players that have worshipped them for years, are the only opinions that matter. And then there's the rest of us. I'm a consumer just like you guys, and I don't appreciate being treated in the way that we are sometimes. So, what has that got to do with the two new companies, and what has that got to do with should there be more war game companies or not? I really don't freaking know, but it just was a little sidebar. So, but it is related. It's related because I think if a war game company is going to come out and bring us something fresh and new, and bring us evolutions in game systems and evolutions in design, maps, map coloring. Counter art, counter style, game mechanics, gameplay, narrative generation, rules, rules consumption, ease, all those sorts of things, then we should embrace those companies and give them a shot, right? That doesn't mean that we're not going to have hiccups along the way. So the two companies I spoke with this week, and I need to pause for a second, were as I said, at opposite ends of the spectrum. One of them is a print-on-demand company called Hollandspiel, and it's run by Tom Russell. And Tom has a unique perspective on what he wants to produce. I would say you would use the word eclectic. I started to say eccentric, but it's eclectic. He has an eclectic interest in producing games and titles that probably haven't been gamed very much before, and bringing a level of simplicity to the gameplay and elegance to the gameplay that perhaps you don't see in other systems. And I think that often that can be, whoops, on my screen slightly going dark here. Hang on one second. I think I turned the dimmer on. That was a really genius idea, wasn't it? God dang it. Talk about disrupting my train of thought. It's hard enough to keep a thought straight in my freaking head. Okay. Oh, when you say sideways, Kevin, Brad, just out of interest, are you suggesting to me that the entire video is sideways? Because I'm hoping that I'm in landscape mode and that you have a decent view. At least that's how it turns up on the video on YouTube. Anyway, Hollandspiel has this, I would say, fresh view of wargaming. And, has a fresh view on wargaming. This is going to be really painful, isn't it? All right, I'm going to try and concentrate for a second here, and I'm not going to look at the freaking comments because you guys are cracking me up a little bit. All right, Hollandspiel, print on demand, interesting. I would call them simple games, but lots of layers, pretty good narrative, and extremely high component quality for a print on demand company. I think they've got a few kinks to work out in terms of, how the maps fold, like little things, how the maps fold, maybe their box sizing and a few little things like that. But all in all, great to see them in the marketplace because they're servicing, the medieval market. They are evolving a new American Civil War system, which I think is going to be really excellent. I've struggled with the American Civil War. There's so few systems that really capture it at the tactical level and get it right and make it playable and consumable. I think Tom's got some really fascinating ideas around Civil War and distilling down the essence of the game without losing the narrative and historical flavor. So I really like that. So I think if a company's going to come into being and be that type of company, then we should absolutely embrace it and engage with it and give them the benefit of the doubt and give them second chances and all that sort of fun stuff. And so Tom, when I contrast Tom's conversation with Adam Starkweather's conversation, two very different guys, right? And one of them, so Tom, I think, has a very rich set of experiences outside of wargaming that really drive his viewpoint of the world and of wargaming, and it really plays out in his design choices, his humor that he uses in the introductory notes and in the designer notes and things like that. Great writer, great wordsmith, and he's found his voice, his theatrical voice, I think you would say, in wargaming, and I'm really excited for him. So let's fast forward to the conversation I had with Adam today, and the conversation with Adam was interesting because there's obviously, from the outside looking in, and I'm going to say this up front, Adam did not share any dirty laundry, any thing that you would call inappropriate comments about his relationship with MMP. Despite my digging, I was looking for dirt. I really wanted dirt. He wouldn't give it to me, so I appreciated his professionalism there. That said, that doesn't mean that I can't infer things, and I love to infer things because rules as written and then inference, they're two very different things, right? So we'll have a little bit of conversation about the MMP and now SDS evolution. I'm happy to chat a little bit about that, and what I want to focus on is why SDS I think is important. And so let's just skip the MMP thing for the moment, and we can come back to it at the end if we want to. When I first heard that he was leaving, and then I saw the map designs for Tinian and all the rest of it, and I thought, oh, okay, well it's just going to be GTS, cut and paste, boom. Fine, I'll buy the games, I guess, because I bought them before and they're pretty interesting. And then with the conversation today, I really was trying to dig in with that. I mean, what's the difference? Why even bother changing the name? Did you have issues with the rights and all that sort of stuff? And he had a great answer, and that answer really revolved around evolution. When he designs a game, his desire is to get you that wow factor in the first game that you play in a series, and then he struggles, like everyone else probably does, to recreate that wow factor in the second game of a series. And I think probably The Devil's Cauldron and Where Eagles Dare are two examples of that, where everyone went wow with TDC. Yeah, Where Eagles Dare, not so much. Same with AVL and AVD, depending on which one you played first, you really liked that one or the other. I probably fell into the 10% group that played AVL first, didn't really like it. Excuse me, I have a piece of hair or something. Didn't really like it, went on to play AVD and really enjoyed it. Whereas most people, 90% of the people that played AVL first loved it, didn't like AVD as much as the follow one. And vice versa, when folks played AVD first, they liked it and didn't really like AVL. So, hey Mike, good to see you, man. Hey Mike, and you're a GTS expert, so I'm going to put you cannot leave until this thing is done, because we're going to hopefully bring up some comments about the SDS company, their system, their company-based system, CSS. I forget what it stands for, company-sized system or something. Who knows? So evolution. So so Adam was talking about evolution, and he was talking about how I took three things away from him. One was this desire for evolution, this desire for retaining the wow in every game title that he made and every game in a system that he made, and the fact that if he made a series of rules and he had to write a special rule in the particular module that obviated or negated or changed the original rule, then the original rule book was bad, because it should be a system that caters for all circumstances. And he referred to a couple examples of, hey Kevin, he referred to a couple examples of engineers on the beach and things like that. So he had to make special rules. So anyway, why is it important for a company like SDS to survive, and why is it important for them to thrive, and why is it important for them to even be around? Why do we even care? Why don't we just let MMP go and let other designers make the games and use the system and create GTS and more GTS stuff. I think they can do that. That's great. I don't think the GTS system is going to evolve though without someone driving it like Adam. So the when I was asking Adam, I said, "Well, okay, come on, man. Look, you're just cutting and pasting, right? We're just taking GTS and we're slapping it in with a different name, and you're working the rules so that you can go keep making games because you need to make games to make a living." I totally understand that. And he goes, "No, no, 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 no." Pulls up counter art. Pulls up. Well, he didn't pull up. He pulled counter art up, but he also shared the. I'm going to touch the screen again to bring the brightness up so I can read your comments. And I can't do that unless I turn that off. There we go. So, can I turn the camera 90 degrees? Are you serious, Chuck? Are you Chuck? Chuck, are you watching? Are you watching on a PC screen or are you watching on your phone? How about you turn your phone 90 degrees? Okay, you know what? I've got this thing held sideways and it's in a bracket or a frame, and it's going to stay that way because when it goes up onto YouTube, this is the way that it's supposed to look. Really? How fascinating. Well, so when I've got the what's front-facing camera? That's why. Ha! And the rest of the time, okay. Let me show you this. Let me do this. Hang on. And we'll someone remember where we're at. Okay, so now is it front? Is it the correct orientation? So now I'm assuming it's the right orientation. Yes. Okay, so that's interesting. So you telling, still wrong. You're telling me that like this, you cannot see the game is sideways? Yeah, no, I know we're looking out the window, but if the game, it's oriented the correct way. The game's not at an angle, right? The game looks good, correct? Just someone say yes for fuck's sake. Okay, all right, okay, great, thank you. Okay, so it's the front-facing camera. That's what it is. So here we go. I'm going to swap back. The game is sideways. The game looks like it's all out of whack. Oh gosh, I wish we had two-way voice, but then again, 20, I guess 10 of you will be trying to talk at the same time. Okay. The game is all out of whack. So you telling me that all the last 10 live broadcasts I've been doing that you guys have been watching the entire time, the camera's been the wrong angle for you? The game is off by 90 degrees. That is bizarre. Wow. Okay. Just this broadcast, huh? How's that? Now that should be the right way. Wow. Okay, I must have done something somewhere with the. I'm gonna flip this around now. So now we're back. Put my seat down a little bit. Trying to get the fan out of the way. Okay. Well, there are your choices, buddy. It's either this way or it's or I'm laying on my side talking to you. So, okay. We were talking about counter art. So here's the critical thing. That's right. We're talking about counter art and evolution. Yeah, you like that T-shirt? It's got a little big board logo there. All right, here we go. the key for me with what Adam was saying, the reason why I guess I got enthusiastic as I heard him talk. Not only is he an effusive dude and really excited about his gaming, we spent a lot of time talking about other games and other game systems that had nothing to do with his world. So he's a gamer's gamer, right? And he cracks systems quickly too. So smart ass. What I saw from the discussion, what I took away from the discussion, I should say, was a significant leap forward in simplifying the game playing process to minimize the number of DRM lookups and all the rest of it. So that got me excited about the game system. The counters will have the similar awesome artwork on them, but you're not going to have a plethora of numbers spread across the counters. It's going to literally have 3 numbers. So then also the number of admin counters is going to be reduced significantly as well. So it's not just GTS 3, right? It's CSS 1. It looks to me, from what I was hearing, that it will fill the needs of the GTS gamer. It's going to keep them excited and happy, and it's going to be for them. It'll be an evolution. For new gamers, and I would probably call myself a new gamer of GTS, right? Because I've played maybe 3-4 times, and scenarios, not big campaigns. I think it's going to be something that you're going to go, oh yeah, okay, I can play this. I got it. I can do this. So that was interesting. So he's trying to not just take a game system and retool it, rebadge it, and throw it out the door. He's really trying to do smart things. And I think if guys are that passionate about their games and about their game systems, I'm just going to move myself a little bit here. I've been sitting on my ass all day today, and I am stiff and sore from doing that. It's kind of sad. Then I think that's goodness. I think we should be excited about that. So that's his, the company scale system. So what else is he doing? That's what I thought was really kind of the bulk of what he's doing. Well, of course, there's Doomsday. We've all heard about it. But what I didn't know is that Doomsday is a homage to Next War. How freaking cool is that going to be? So it's going to have elements of the Next War system in it. That Oscar Mike thing. So that operations and movement blended together. A little bit of homage to Central Front System with the friction point concept built into it. He's not going to call it friction points, of course, but it's going to have other stuff, right? So you want a big board shirt, hey Kyle? Well, we'll work something out. I need to edit the art on this T-shirt because it's got a big line on it that's ugly, so I really couldn't sell it to you, and I'm sure I'm not making them for free because they're expensive. I wish I could work out a way to make 100 of them and give them away for cheap. Anyway, let's. So that's really going to be the first game in what he's calling his divisional game system. Company scale, divisional scale, pretty interesting. Still going to probably do some work with the relationships he has with all the Japanese designers that he knows and has relationships with. So I think he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. Probably Tinian will come out first. I'd never spoken to Adam other than by email, and he's a pretty engaging person and a pretty interesting guy to have a conversation with. So I was impressed with his knowledge of other game systems. There are a lot of guys who who he reminded me of here in a much more highly structured way. He reminded me of a Mark Walker in that he has a lot of energy and passion for gaming and gaming systems. He wants to try and play everything, and gives credit where credit's due. And I think Mark Walker does that as well. He does a good job at experiencing the full width of gaming opportunities, and non-war game stuff as well. So Anyway, so my point to everybody here is there are a small handful of new guys that are coming along. I think we got to find some room in our wallet, and perhaps make hard choices about not just auto buying stuff from the big guys because they bring stuff out. We all saw that. No Question for Surrender was not developed by Adam. Not such a great game. The Creek game is still meandering around, and the uptake and interest in that game has been very, very slow. So I think, and I'm starting to also second guess some of my auto buys on Great Battles of History, on OCS, on TCS, on some of the other stuff that's coming out as well. It wasn't one game I didn't just automatically sign up for that I thought I would regret. But I'm starting to really be a lot more selective, and not just I'm trying to let the completest portion of myself go, and focusing on trying to find good designers that make great games that will give me strong narrative, great history, and great replayability. Folks get very excited about ASL and how historically accurate it is. Well, back behind the scenes, making the scenarios, it's making sausage. It's not pretty, and it's not necessarily historically accurate either. But what's fantastic about ASL is its narrative that it brings out for everybody. So what I like about Adam's games, and indeed Tom's games, are the historical richness of them, and they're bringing the game to you with the actual OB and the actual scenario, and then building a great system around that, and defining smart victory conditions that will drive you to kind of play things out the way they were meant to be played, but you can also have the opportunity to do something funky and something different as well. So there you go. Hey Patrick, good to see you. Yeah, that's true. Oh, come on, Kyle. All right. So look, that's all I really had to share today. I didn't want to. I just wanted to share my initial reactions to having these conversations with these two relatively new companies, and offer my support to them, because I think that they're trying to do smart things. I've already bit the bullet and played some of Tom's games, and I'll wait to see how Adam's games come out. I would love someone to talk to Adam about Kickstarter. I obviously did a very bad job of explaining why he should look at that, but someone should do that for him, because I think a guy with himself and an artist, as the case may be, that he's definitely going to need the capital up front to make things happen on a timely basis anyway, versus going out to the P500 route. But who knows? Maybe that's not his bag. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. All right. There we go. So that's Mike, you're not a finance guy. So that's all I had to share with you. That's a 30-minute kind of ramble about it. I will try and get my notes written up on each of these individual folks and companies. I've asked Adam to give me a little bit of artwork, and also asked Tom to do the same thing, so that we'll be able to share it, and it'll be stuff you haven't seen before. So we'll look at some counter art. The colors may not be the final things that you'll see. We'll get to have a look at some more detail on the maps with Adam's bits and pieces, and then Tom has a huge range of games that are coming out very soon, and we will have a look at those as well, some of the artwork for those as well, without giving too much away. So, all right, that's all I had for you. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will look forward to talking to you soon. Please do the usual, share the video, like the video thing, and you guys all take it easy. Ciao.